Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show, Saturday, July the 3rd. It's the eve of the 4th of July of Independence Day, south of the border. So revving up the party atmosphere, I guess, if you will. We're ready to break down the Saturday card. Joining me, Conor Mac, as always, and always on Saturdays, also joining the show, David Sharpe, Sharpie, as you know him and know him well, a great baseball mind. Here he is joining us once again, as he always does on Saturdays. Let's get to it. We've got a lot of games. We're going to start with a game that actually Conor and I talked about yesterday because it's the same pitching matchup. The game got washed out. The first game of the Subway Series, Mets and Yankees. We've got the same pitching matchup here. Taijuan Walker, Jordan Montgomery on the mound. Yankees moderate home chalk here, north of minus 150 slightly. The total here in this one currently sitting in that 8.5 range pretty much across the board. I like Walker a little bit, and he certainly pitched well this season. He is one of those guys that's on the list. You know, that's what we're calling it these days, the list. So we'll see how that affects him here going into this start. Jordan Montgomery is a guy that's very erratic. I really haven't tried a whole lot to either back him or fade him, because one game he could look really good and the other game he can get absolutely crushed. But the one problem for the Mets today against him is that they haven't hit lefties well at all for the better part of the last several weeks. That's definitely a concern. Striking out a ton as well against those southpaw pitchers. So you worry about that going into this start. The media is having a field day with this Yankees team right now. Hal Steinbrenner had a little session the other day saying, calm down, everybody. We're not firing Aaron Boone. We're not getting rid of Brian Cashman. Yankees fans calling for their heads. He basically pointed the finger at the players, saying, this is on you. You got to get your shit together. We're not making changes right now. So this is the first game the Yankees are playing since that little State of the Union address from Hal Steinbrenner the other day. So let's see what kind of response we get from the Yankees here. I'm sure not interested in laying the price with them, but in the pit of my stomach, this feels like it's kind of a circle the wagons. We need a win. We need to show up today kind of spot for the Yankees. We'll see if they take advantage of it. I'm not on the game, but those are the reasons what kept me off the Mets essentially was that, and the fact, again, not hitting as well lately against the left-handed side. Conor, what do you think here? Mets, Yankees.
Yeah, we talked about this one yesterday. I'm off. I don't know if I'm off it today. Obviously, it got the rain out yesterday. I had 9s. The wind was really blowing in real strong, and it was raining. It's cleared up. There's a little bit of crosswind, a little bit to right field. Now it's 8.5. So I see 8.5. So I don't see a 9 anywhere. I'm sure you could find one for probably minus 125. But I still see under in this game. That was the lone game I kind of liked yesterday, the under. The other one was the Texas Mariners game that sneaked even over yesterday. That one that I thought might go under. But I know it's circle the wagons, the Yankees, like you talked about. We'll see with Montgomery. The Mets can't. I don't know. They can't hit at all. Lefties, righties, they don't hit anything. And I've had a lot more success with Walker this year. And you're catching a price, Subway Series. I think Mets getting almost $1.50. So I've had no success with the Yankees, especially laying this number.
No, they are. And to me on paper, the first thing I thought was, I got to take the Mets here. I just have to. This price is outrageous. Then you look at they're not hitting. Then you look at the Yankees getting called out by Hal Steinbrenner and saying the players are at fault. They've got to be the ones to get going. They've got to be the ones to turn this around. This is the first game since that little speech he made. So it just feels like Yankees show up today. We'll see if they can, or maybe they are just that bad right now. What do you think, Sharpie?
I think I wish I had this game yesterday so I could bet the Yankees like I did at minus 130, but now they've adjusted the prices to everybody betting it yesterday. And like Conor was saying, the value's now switched. I mean, at minus 130, I liked Montgomery, but at plus 150 and the Mets getting Nimmo back, yes, they haven't been hitting, but they've been missing their leadoff hitter. And when that kid was in the lineup, they did score runs. So definitely leaning the over too with Conor, but I'm off it myself since they changed it and the lines moved. I was on the K prop yesterday at 4.5. They jumped that up to 5.5 today too because it was betted like crap yesterday. So they've adjusted the lines to the betting yesterday. That has me off.
All right, we have the Tampa Bay Rays and the Toronto Blue Jays next up in Buffalo. Shane McClanahan and Ross Stripling, a resurgent Ross Stripling. He's been just a different guy for weeks now for this Blue Jays team. We've got right now in this price range, we've got the Blue Jays minus pretty much even money, actually, more like minus 110 both sides, up to as high as minus 115 with the Blue Jays slight home favorites, 10 the total in this game. Shane McClanahan, the lefty, it's not been quite a smooth sailing for him recently for this Tampa Bay Rays team. The Toronto Blue Jays definitely hitting the ball quite well right now, especially, look at the last 10 game sample size, which again, when you get this deep into the season, like the All-Star break is a week away, you got to be looking at shorter term current form numbers more and putting more emphasis in that than the full season numbers. And when you look at the Jays, last 10 games, righties and lefties both hitting quite well right now, this team. And we saw what they did yesterday. And George Springer had a good quote. Simeon had a good quote prior to this series starting last night, saying this is a big series for us. We're 5 games back of this team. We need to put some wins on the board. Well, they sure put a win on the board last night. They destroyed the Rays in the series opener last night. I would look Toronto here. I trust Stripling a little bit more than I trust McClanahan. I also think the over could be in play. It's a 10. The Jays are pounding the ball. There's been lots of overs in Buffalo lately, and there's a wind blowing out. And the one thing about both McClanahan and Stripling, the last 4 or 5 starts they've had, they've been prone to the long ball, and that could be an issue when you got winds whipping around to the out to left field like they are at Salem Field this afternoon in Buffalo. So I like Jays and I like over the total in this one. C-Mac, what do you like here? Rays, Jays.
Yeah, I talked about it. I thought the Rays, after coming out with such a good record, I thought they were due for a slide, and I think it's going to continue here.
Oh, they're in one now. They're in
it. They're in it, full in one now. I'm just saying, but they're still 12 games over 500. That's how good they were playing at one point. The Blue Jays kept being right around 500. They were winning a few, then they were losing a few. Can they finally – now they're 4 games up, and you're right. Can they sweep this series? Can they win it? It'd be big. I'd lean just Blue Jays. I've liked McClanahan and backing him, but I really don't like the spot here. Jays have just been raking. I'd lean over a little bit. This is a game I didn't play, but maybe if you think you're getting Ross Stripling and these Jays at a cheap price, you could even take them run line. I know there's a lot of run line Blue Jay backers out there, and today would be a big day with a plus price.
Yeah, there's no question
and Margot,
about that.
There's only one guy who's hit Stripling, Margot. He's 6 for 16. Other than that, the Rays haven't hit Stripling much at all.
And 2 home runs, so Jack of the Day for Margot. As far as Jack of the Day for the Jays, you could look at the 4 that are just raking and have been great for like weeks now. Simeon, Bichette, Vlad, and George Springer starting to get going. He's starting to feel it now. He's wearing – the rust is off now. He's been back for a few weeks, and he's starting to get that bat swinging the way we expect. What do you think here, Sharpie?
I'm on Stripling. Jays first 5 minus 125. Stripling, 4 out of his last 6 games versus a bottom 10 team, he's only allowed 1 run. Right now, the Rays are 24th and 23rd OPS the last 30 and 15 days. They're a bottom 10 team. Go against McClanahan, his last 4 out of 5 starts versus top 10 teams that hit lefties, they've all scored 3 runs or more in 4 innings or less. So McClanahan is not destined for a long time in this game. I see minimum 3 runs like he's given up and 1 or 2 from Stripling, So yes, the game can go over, but I see a good game from Stripling and Toronto doing what Toronto does. They're the number 3rd team against lefties, and they're going to eat today. Yeah,
I agree. 5th in terms of best batting 5th best batting average against lefties. Toronto, 263 on the season. By the way, the Rays against righties, like the last 10 games, it's like a sub 200 batting average for them. It's really rough for Tampa Bay.
I go OPS, so we're close. But just so you know, if they're mismatching, I'm on OPS.
Yeah, definitely. They're both good numbers to make sure you're taking them into account when you're looking at these splits for sure, and good to be aware of them. But right now, the Rays are kind of like the Mets. They're not hitting either side right now, righty or lefty, and that's been an issue for them. They're definitely in their first prolonged skid of the season, Tampa Bay, and you figured it had to happen at some point. You just can't keep playing, 65% baseball all season long. You just 70%, just can't play that good.
Nobody's hitting over 250.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have a stud. They don't really have. I mean, they got a couple great young players, but I mean,
the crazy stat of the day: Blue Jays bullpen last 15 days, number 6.
They're improving, and they got some arms. They got that Adam. They got that Adam.
Hey, I just
Simber.
It's
Adam
coming, bro.
Simber, yeah.
So a lot of people keep talking
tomorrow.
trash on that Jays bullpen. They're turning it around.
They are. They're definitely, and they've gone out. They gotten some arms. I don't know if Jacob Barnes is a guy I fully trust, but they got him. He's been good so far in minimal duty. And of course, Adam Simber from the Marlins, who the little side armor. He's pitched pretty well in that bullpen for them. All right, we've got Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. Next game on the card here, it is Eric Lauer, one of my favorites, although sometimes he's taken some money from me and he's pitched, nothing like I expect. He's not usually a guy I like to back, but he's been frustrating me at times. Like when he pitched in Colorado, he pitched better than I thought. He's minus 160, road favorite here, 9 the total. Don't look now, but one of the hottest offensive teams in baseball right now is these Milwaukee Brewers. Believe it or not, the last 10 to 15 games, they have been raking at the plate, and it's hard to fathom because for so long they couldn't barely hit anything, and now they're almost hitting everything right now. They should hit Cody Ponce today. I've looked at this guy's numbers. There's absolutely nothing to like. All right, he is a journeyman fringe arm pitcher. He's got an over 5 ERA at the AAA level. In the brief major league stint that he's had this season, he's struggled. He's not really been all that good. I think the Brewers continue to do damage like they've done the last several games against him. I think they'll have a good amount of success here. He threw a relief roll a few days ago, 3 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits. His only start was in May, 4 runs, 5 innings, nothing to write home about. Like I said, a terrible ERA in AAA. That's bad news against this Milwaukee lineup. The problem is I want to fade Lauer. I'd lean full game over 9 here, but I don't know if the Pirates can hit him. The Pirates offense is putrid right now. They should hit Eric Lauer. They should, but I don't know if they will. I mean, you look at these numbers lately, 2, 0, 0, lots of 2s, lots of 0s for runs scored lately for this Pittsburgh Pirates team. So I think the safer bet is Milwaukee team total over 4.5. I think that is what I would look at here in this game because I do think they'll smash Ponce. Bad bullpen, tired bullpen as well. That Pirates pen's been used heavily. So I think the Brewers team total might be the safer bet just in case Pittsburgh's offensive struggles at the plate continue today. In theory, they should, get a couple licks against Lauer, but I don't know. They're just not hitting a whole lot of anything right now. Connor, what do you think here with this one? Brewers, Pirates.
Yeah, I'll be quick. One thing is the Brewers are finally swinging it like you're talking about. So if, they're going to score runs today, I wouldn't mind the team total. It is minus 130. But here's the deal. Lauer on the road, and he's minus 160. No freaking way. I'd lean the full game over 8.5. There's 9s at even money. Maybe you could in-game bet it. I think I'd take a little bit the Pirates' first 5 here. I'd take the plunge. Maybe I'm just a Lauer. I know Ponce isn't very good. But after getting their ass kicked yesterday with Brubaker, maybe they can put some runs together. I wouldn't go full game. I don't want the Brewers bullpen. Just take the Pirates' first 5 here, plus 135.
Yeah, we have a light wind out to right center field as well at PNC Park. And usually that's a ballpark where if you're going to get a day with some runs, you're going to need a little influence from the wind conditions and the weather. So maybe you have that today in this one. David, what do you like here? Milwaukee Pitt.
I'm pretty much straight off this game, but I'm definitely leaning towards that Milwaukee first 5 team total over 2.5. The Brewers bullpen has been number 3 for the last 30 days and 15. These guys have turned it around. Like, even in my head, I've had Milwaukee sucks. These guys don't suck no more. Yesterday, it was a straight bullpen day pretty much for them. They went 7, I think, innings or so, and I don't know. This game has me fucked, dude. Brewers are hitting, and in my head and in my stats, it tells me they haven't been hitting. They're missing their players, but yet they're hitting with their bottom of the barrel players. It's just so much is going on that I just left it alone.
Nothing wrong with that. It can be a little bit of a tricky one for sure. And definitely Cody Ponce, the biggest issue I have with this game is trusting Pittsburgh to hit Lauer because they're just not hitting anything at the moment. We'll see if that changes or not today. We've got the White Sox and the Tigers. Battle of lefties here. Dallas Keuchel, Tariq Skubal, your pitching matchup here. White Sox open minus 140, but a little love for Detroit, down to minus 115, minus 120 now. As road favorites in this one at Comerica Park. The total pretty much across the board right now sitting at 9, slightly shaded to the under. We'll see what happens for the White Sox today. Can they keep that offense going? 8-2 victory for them over the Tigers yesterday on Friday night. Gavin Sheets, a guy that just recently got called up to the White Sox. Man, impressive in his last. Has been really good this week. He had a 3-run bomb last night. So look at just more reinforcements for an already dangerous team offensively coming into this game. And that's important because we're talking about a White Sox team, guys, that, they're missing a lot of their regulars. Lurie Garcia, Yasmani Grandal's battling a calf injury. Juan Moncada's got a hand injury right now. They've already lost Nick Madrigal for the season at this point. So to be able to get guys like Sheets coming up here and stepping up and producing right away, it's good news for the White Sox. That lineup is back in form again. Remember, they were struggling a little bit. Not the last 5, 7-7, 13, 8-8 scored by the White Sox. The last 5 games, all 5 going over the total here in this game. We'll see how they fare here against Skubal. But you would think they've got a chance for success. Oddly enough, though, you look at it, most of the damage for the White Sox these last 5 games, righties, lefties, the numbers have come down a little bit for them in terms of their production. So we'll see how they fare here against Skubal. On the other side of the bench, you've got Dallas Keuchel on the mound here today for the Chicago White Sox. 2.87 ERA his last 3 starts. Facing the Tigers here. He pitched well against them earlier this season. 1 earned run, 5 hits, 6 innings. It was actually a 9-8 game, but all the runs scored by Detroit came after Dallas Keuchel left that game. Skubal this year against the White Sox, faced them twice. He's given up 5 runs in 11 innings of work. So it's one of those conflict games, though, because you got the White Sox raking, bullpen issues for Detroit a little bit, at this point. You've got a pretty warm day in Detroit, slight wind blowing out, but I don't know if I'm rushing to bet over the total. I'd lean that way, but just a lukewarm lean. I don't know if I'll even get involved. Probably stay off the game. Connor, what do you think here with Chicago-Detroit?
Yeah, a little bit of the tough one. The White Sox have bounced back the last few days. And they struggle there against lefties, but now maybe are you getting a cheap price? Skubal's pitched a lot better lately. His last start really well against the Astros. 7 innings. I think he had no earned runs there, but he's gotten hit pretty hard by these White Sox. And on the other side, Keuchel, there's good numbers with Cabrera, Jonathan Scope, 6 for 16, 2 home runs. So yeah, maybe just some more runs in this one. The Tigers, it's too small of a dog here. Down to 110 now. I'd look White Sox maybe here a little bit.
All right. Looking at the value now that has been created by the betting markets, is the White Sox cheaper than they were at the open? Sharpe, anything you like here? White Sox, Tigers.
Man, you guys take a lot out of my mouth. It's great, but I was in the Discord this morning and I told them all, hey, if there's a dog price on this game, you take the dog. This is a coin flip. These guys are evenly matched on paper. No one should be favored. It should be even. If you go through the last month, Detroit's got the better bullpen than the White Sox. Who the would think that, dude? Are you kidding me? Like, the White Sox have not been playing good baseball. Dig through the numbers. Skubal's been good his last few starts. Keuchel's been pretty good his last few starts. I want to bet the under 4.5, but then the White Sox smash Skubal. But then I looked into it again. They smashed him on back-to-back games. The first time he held his own, the very next week he got hit. That to me is a throwout. That happens a lot of times in baseball, guys. Like, you go up against the same teams in a 5-day period, you're going to get hit the second time more often than not. So that makes me want to trust Skubal a little more, to where I'm going to go under 4.5 at -105, because I'm going to take that second game of the White Sox and say it was a fluke.
All right.
White Sox have won, 4 in a row since that losing streak?
White Sox are hot.
They are. The bats are hot again, and they're playing better. We'll see. But again, I like Skubal too. I've been on Skubal a few times, first 5 innings this year. It's just today. Yeah. I don't know if I want to get on it today, but I overall think he can be pretty good. But again, he's had
look at Casey Mize. If you had Casey Mize, he's been one of the top profitable guys all year, starting pitchers. If you backed $100, he's like 900. I think he was second. I have the list here.
Last night, but
yesterday he did. But yeah,
as a pick'em though, I'm on Keuchel first 5 and then the under 4.5.
All right, excellent stuff. Minnesota, Kansas City here. We've got Griffin, Jax, Danny Duffy, the pitching matchup here in this one. We've got Kansas City -140, home favorites here, 10 the total in this game. The Royals snapping a pretty ugly losing streak yesterday and finally getting a win as they beat Minnesota 7-4 in the opener. What else can we say? Hapless again. He's the gift that keeps on giving. You either fade him or you take the over. What is that now? 12-0 in his last 12 starts over the total. What a run for J Happ. What a run in a bad way. Bad way for him, good way for me. That's the way I see it. Good way for my pocket. Good way for my bankroll. That's the way I look at it. Coming into this game, you've got Griffin Jacks on the mound for the Minnesota Twins in this one. We'll see how he fares in this matchup, but not a guy that we've seen, a whole lot in a starting role. And overall, his numbers, pitching and relief duty for the most part, 7.82 ERA. That's just nothing to write home about whatsoever. Danny Duffy on the mound, the lefty for the Royals, who was pitching extremely well before his stint away from the team on the injured list. But I've got concerns right now. He's made 2 starts since returning. He hasn't been stretched out. He only went 2 innings against the Yankees. Walks were a bit of an issue. And then the last start against Boston, 4 runs, 5 hits, only 3.1 innings, 3 home runs allowed. I worry that injury, and just he hasn't found that rhythm and that confidence that he had prior to because he was pitching great, early in the very early in the season before he got on the injured list. He was pitching extremely well for the most part. That's not the case anymore. So I'm a little worried. And look, this Minnesota team, they're pretty good form offensively. They've scored 8, 6, 3, 5, and 4 in their last 6 games. So this is one where I have potentially pegged once again for some runs in this game. 10.5 the total. In this one, I would lean to the over. I liked it more yesterday, the over with Happ and with Singer. But I would lean in that direction once again here. Twins and Royals over the total. What do you think here, C-Mac? Twins, Royals?
Yeah, Duffy. I just, since he's come back, 2 innings, 1 inning, he left, and then he went 3 1/3 and gave up 4 runs to the Sox. He doesn't look right at all. I think the Twins are a good price as a dog here. The question mark with Jacks. So I'm going to instead of full game total, look at the Twins team total over 4.5. It's -105. And they have good numbers against Duffy. A few of these guys. Nelson Cruz, 10 for 30 with 5 home runs. Now Jack of the day, Nelson Cruz. Hit it. 10 for 30, 5 homers off Duffy. I think the Twins can hit him. They hit lefties well. They've scored runs lately. They might not been winning every game, the Twins. So I like the 130 with the Twins, but I like the over 4.5 team total at -105 a little bit better here.
Yeah, I sure as hell am not laying a price with Kansas City. I would agree with you. It would be Minnesota
right now,
pass,
140.
I looked at Jacks. I really did digging on Jacks, and 7.82 ERA in his appearances this year, all in a relief role out of the bullpen. It's nothing to write home about, and you're probably going to see he's probably going to be on a short leash anyway. You'll see a lot of relievers today for this Minnesota team. David, what do you think here? Mini in Kansas City.
I'm on the same side as Connor right here. I'm taking the Twins team total over 4.5 at -110, and then I'm going to take the Royals team total too, though. That's at 5.5 at plus money. I could see this game going way over. Both of these guys have not gone more than 4 innings their last 2 starts. They've given up 3 or 4 runs on every start, both of these guys. And they have the 27th and 29th bullpens. So you're going to tell me 3-4 innings into a dumpster fire? Sign me up. So I'm on both team totals over. And the Royals will probably screw me, though, to be honest with you. The Royals like to not give me my runs when I bet them.
Yeah, and you got to get 6
that's the
with a 5.5. Yeah.
Look at what game was it? I think it was Thursday, the finale, Kansas City and Boston. I had the over in that game, but it was all Boston doing the scoring. I didn't get anything from the Royals in that game, not a lick of offense from them. So thank goodness Boston did what they did. I think it was 13-0 that game. But they got going last night against J Happ, which tells you that J Happ's in an absolutely dreadful way right now for the Minnesota Twins, that the Royals raked him pretty good last night. All right, next up on the card here, we've got Miami and Atlanta. The Braves -120, home favorites here in this one, total 8.5. We've got Sandy Alcantara and Kyle Muller, lefty on the mound here for the Atlanta Braves. Muller, second-round pick for the Braves in 2016, 4th appearance and 3rd start in his major league career. Pitched pretty well last Sunday against the Reds. 1 hit, 5 shutout innings, and 9 strikeouts for Kyle Muller, the lefty. So Is this a guy we can look at? I know David's into the strikeout props. Is this a guy we can maybe look at for success here? We know this Marlins team can be a little bit dicey with that lineup, a little bit free swinging. Last 10 games against lefties, 210 average. Not great by any stretch of the imagination. But most of the strikeouts have been against righties more than lefties. You look at it, against lefties, they're striking out the last 10 games 3.3. Against righties, they're striking out 7 per game lately. So that's the question. Yeah, they haven't been striking out as much against lefties. But boy, Muller was impressive in that outing last week against the Cincinnati Reds. We'll see how he fares here in this one. Sandy Alcantara for the Marlins, 2.08 ERA in his last 3 starts. Had a little bit of a subpar outing by his standards last time out against Washington. 5 runs, 6 hits, and 5.1 innings of work. He's faced the Braves twice this year. The Marlins have won both of those games that Sandy pitched against Atlanta, and he's given up 5 runs in 12.1 innings in 2 starts combined versus the Braves this year. We'll see if he can have that same kind of solid track record again here. Tough loss last night for the Miami Marlins, 1-0. Those are the worst games for a team to lose. When you lose 1-0. I mean, you get the great pitching performance from Pablo Lopez. You just can't hit a lick.
Did you not see that game, Ian? Pablo Lopez got thrown out on the first pitch, threw it Acuna, and they chucked him out the game.
All right. Yep.
Yeah,
it was a bullpen day.
Yeah, bullpen day. And the bullpen pitched well, and the bullpen pitched very well for them. And Drew Smyly's resurgent. I don't know what else to say. I'm shocked by it. Drew Smyly is just in a groove right now. He's in his zone for the Atlanta Braves. I can't believe I'm saying that because this was Fade City for me on Drew Smyly in April and early May. But no question about that. It was definitely a great start again for him last night. So Marlins aren't hitting. I don't know if they'll hit Muller. I like Sandy a lot. Maybe you look first 5 under. That's certainly the way I would lean here in this game. Conor Mac, what do you think here with Miami Atlanta?
You just spit out my kind of only words on this game where I wanted nothing to do with it, but I had first 5 under 4.5 at even money. But you talked about they've hit Sandy a little bit. They're at home. Both these teams have shit on me. I really don't want anything to do with this game. Muller pitched really good his first start there, this lefty. Let's see if he can do it again against the Marlins team who couldn't scratch across a run. Maybe there's runs today. I wouldn't be shocked all of a sudden they break out. But yeah, my lean was first 5 under 4.5 at even money here.
Yeah, these umpires are out of control with tossing pitchers for menial stuff. Like it's insane at this point. Like, how do you know how there's intent with some of these situations? Like, how the fuck do they judge that? Like, to me, I think you've got to see, and you got to see evidence of maybe some shit that's gone on in the past, as well between 2 certain ball clubs, maybe before you lead yourself to making that kind of decision. That's the way I would see it. Go ahead, Sharpie.
I had the game on and was listening to it, and the Atlanta Braves coaches warned the umpires beforehand that there was something going on with these 2 guys from past presence. That's why when he got hit, the Atlanta coach went straight to the umpire and said, I fucking told you. They got together and threw him out. Usually the umpire throws you out right away. It wasn't that. It was a weird situation.
Yeah, I think he's hit him before. And obviously Acuna's got hit a lot. He's right on the
Acuna knew it was coming, but they were saying it's really screwed up that there wasn't no warning. Now they can't pitch inside at all to him. Like they just set a precedent saying you can't throw inside to Acuna. Now they're screwed for the rest of the year. Like that, that's a bad spot. Now they have to pitch to this guy, guys. Like they're going to throw it to him. I'm confused as hell too. I want to bet the under 4.5, but then I know Mueller. Mueller has been good, but his minor league stats is he's a bum, guys. He's nothing fucking special. He's been good in the major leagues. Is it because he's getting good matchups? Miami Marlins are terrible. This is a great matchup for this guy right now. Alcantara is Alcantara, but he's the Braves. I don't know. This one's got me so screwed. I want to go under 4.5, but they put 20 runs on me the other day to where I'm so freaking scared of. I hate the Braves right now. But
and they scored
4.5.
And they come back with 1. Hey,
Yesterday I did take the in live when they took Lopez down, and I knew they brought in that Marlins bullpen. They have been number 1 the last 15 days. I hit that under 7.5. That was easy.
Yeah, very good. I mean, yeah, take advantage. Like those are spots where if a starting pitcher exits early due to he's tossed or he gets injured or the pitch count gets high and he's got to leave in like the second or third inning, that's when you jump in and you look at your bullpen numbers and not so much your full season bullpen numbers. You look at last 10 games, last 30 days, that kind of thing. You want, because again, things change over the course of a season. I couldn't stress that enough to everybody watching. Like if you're going to profit in this time of the year in baseball, you've got to be looking at the shorter term. You have to be looking at last 10 games. You have to be looking at last 30 days. That matters a lot more because look at Tampa Bay, for instance. Yeah, if you're trying to bet the Tampa Bay because you think their numbers are based on what they did in April and May when they were raking it and red hot and beating everybody, well, now you're in trouble with Tampa Bay if you're falling into that trap and you're not looking at the short term where they've struggled. So that's just one of many examples. Next up, we've got the Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati Reds, Adbert Alzolay, Tyler Mahle on the mound here. Cincinnati minus 130, total 9 across the board. I don't know what Alec Mills is doing right now. He's got like this magic voodoo over him, and apparently he can just befuddle every major league lineup right now. He did it again last night against the Reds. Like the Reds and the Dodgers, two pretty good teams and offenses. I mean, he absolutely it keeps them under wraps for the most part. So hard to fathom that. Don't really have a strong feel for this game. I sure as hell don't like backing the Cubs on the road. For the most part, the Reds, they had the big walk-off win against San Diego, and then they fell flat. I should have seen that coming because it was a rousing win. They came back and walked off the Padres to avoid a sweep, and then they were flat as a pancake last night. I didn't like what I saw. Their approach at the plate was terrible in my mind. No patience whatsoever. We'll see if they can get back to that today in this one. We'll have to wait and see. Mainly 3.74 ERA. I like him a little bit. I don't like Alzolay as much on the road, 4.55 ERA. I lean Reds here. But I don't know if I'll get involved in this one. There is a wind blowing out, but this Cubs lineup just overall, and especially on the road, I don't know if that's going to matter for them. It's not an offense I trust right now. So I lean a little bit Cincinnati here, first 5 in full game split. That's probably the closest I've come to making a bet on this game. Connor, what do you think here for Cubs-Reds?
Yeah, the Reds really got me. That was the lone one. Of course, it was the freaking best bet. That's just how it goes. I lean Reds here. Alzolay, his last start, though, we'll see. He gave up, obviously, that grand slam to the Dodgers. He was out very quick, so kind of just got his ass rocked, walked a bunch of guys, and he hasn't been better. He's been better at home than on the road. But I'm with you. After getting my ass kicked yesterday, they probably scored 9 or 10 runs today, so take the Reds.
There you go. It could be one of those days. By the way,
yeah,
one Cub that's really done damage against Mahle is Chris Bryant, and that might be something to look at in terms of Jack of the Day and home run prop today. What do you think here, Sharpie? Cubs and Reds.
Last night I bet first 5 over 4.5 at minus 120, and now I'm seeing 5s. So we're gonna get into that word that I haven't said a lot today. Spider tack. Both of these two guys, their last 3 games, we got Alizé, he's the girl drink. Alizé, because he's a bitch, because he's given up 4, 3, and 4 the last 3 games. Okay, he's no longer. You can't call him by his name.
Alizé.
He's Alizé.
Yeah.
And then we got Mahle, who's 4, 3, and 1 his last 3 games. Both are giving up runs at an alarming rate compared to what they're used to giving up, guys. So I'm on both of them to get clacked, and I'm gonna get out and enjoy my money in about the 3rd inning, I figure.
All right, liking 2 guys that might be worried about them. They're on the list. They're on the list, as I always like to say. And we'll see if that shows up tonight here or this afternoon at the Great American Ballpark with Alzolay and Mahle. Houston and Cleveland. Now, this is the first of 3 nationally televised games across the country on Fox. They do that Saturday night baseball thing. This is the first of the 3, Houston and Cleveland. We've got the Astros here right now around minus 165, home road favorites, I should say. 9.5 the total in this one, although there's some 10s starting to appear as well. What do we make the curious case of Jake Odorizzi, who now has made, a couple of starts, since that little stint away. And before that, he was not very good. But last 2 starts, Baltimore shut him out in 5 innings. Detroit shut him out in 5 innings. He's only given up 2 hits in 10 innings so far and 12 strikeouts for Jake Odorizzi. So Jake Odorizzi has found something here in these last 2 starts since rejoining this Astros rotation. So coming into this start, he's in better form. I'm going to trust that a little bit coming into this game, although it is worth noting some of these Cleveland Indian hitters have seen him from his days in Minnesota, of course. There are a couple that have hit him, but overall, not too bad. The numbers against Odorizzi, or the numbers for Odorizzi, I should say, against Cleveland aren't too bad. What I know about Eli Morgan is the guy is terrible. That much I know. I don't need to think about it too hard. That is exactly what we see here from Eli Morgan. And look, 4 starts, 6 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs, 4 runs. He's given up 6 home runs in his 4 starts, 6 home runs over just, barely 15 innings. Like, that's a terrible home run ratio. You've only pitched 15 innings, and you've given up the number of home runs he has, 6. So it's been brutal. The Astros lineup is waking up again. I don't know what happened against Baltimore, but they struggled a little bit in that series. But boy, the first 2 games against Cleveland, 13 runs in the 3 games combined, 7 and 6. This is all reliable for me. It's been treating me well a lot for the last, week, 10 days, even 2 weeks. This Astros team total. I mean, I've been just hitting this thing like almost every day. For the most part, and that's what I'm going to go back to here in this one. We'll go to the team total here with Houston. I don't know what Odorizzi's going to do. I don't want to guess. He's in good form.
Yeah.
Don't always trust Cleveland to hit, but I do trust Houston's bats to throttle Eli Morgan right now. Who's absolutely brutal. So I'll look at over 5.5 team total once again with the Houston Astros. Connor, what do you think?
Yeah, it stayed off that night, but I loved it yesterday. It came through. And now with Morgan on the mound, instead of taking the over, like you said, Odorizzi, man, he's just been unreal these last few starts. It's been crazy. Yeah, I don't like Morgan. And the over 5.5, you got it at -105. The wind's blowing out 8 to 10 miles an hour to right center. Give me the Astro team total. I'm with you, Ian, here. Over 5.5.
All right.
Back-to-back day, over 5.5. Yeah.
Yeah,
going out on a limb.
I'm on that. Yeah, going out on a limb. You're right. By the way, the Cleveland Indians against righties, 228, 4.68. Not quite as good lately, and we know what the Astros are doing right now. It's absolutely amazing. Not just righties, lefties, every team right now, they're hitting quite well, and we'll see if that continues here tonight in this game. I lean Astros run line too, because I did have the run line as well last night in that game against Cleveland, -1.5 around even money. But I'm not as much in a rush to bet that because, again, you've got Odorizzi in good form, but I don't know. I need to see one more good start from him. I need one more good start from Odorizzi to be fully convinced he's a different guy right now. What do you think, Sharpie?
I think Odorizzi was cheating, and then went back to it because most of these pitchers had 4 or 5 pitches growing up, guys. A lot of these pitches, they don't want spin on those pitches. You throw a splitter, guys, you don't want spin on it. It's the less spin, the better. And you got to start looking into what type of pitches are they going to. Like Garrett Richards can't throw his curveball no more. He can't get it over the plate now that he can't cheat. So he has nothing else to fall back on, where Odorizzi has other pitches he's falling back on, guys. And he's been dominating.
Pitcher. Yes.
Yeah.
Great point.
So he's dropping back to those other pitches that he probably didn't use anymore. So he's a whole new freaking pitcher these last few weeks. Yeah. I'm on the team total over. Connor got me on it last night and the day before with the other pitcher. And this same reason here, guys. This guy Morgan is not destined for more than 4 innings versus these Astros. And then we get into that terrible, terrible Cleveland bullpen. And 5.5, it's -110. It's not plus money like yesterday. But I hit it in the 3rd inning yesterday. So I'm all right with that.
All right. Speaking of Garrett Richards, what a segue. Here he is. Boston Red Sox, Oakland Athletics. Garrett Richards and Cole Irvin on the mound here in this one. We've got Oakland -135, home favorites, 9.5 the total in this game. Certainly, what David just said, Garrett Richards has been a mess. And look, again, he's got no other pitches to fall back on now that he's had his little edge, taken away from him, essentially, with the old pat down searches that you're seeing across the big leagues right now with all these pitchers. And definitely that's concerning now going up against, any team, including this Oakland team. But that's the issue right now for Richards. It's been brutal. I mean, look at it. 6 runs, 7 hits, 4 innings against Atlanta. Crushed. 4 runs, 11 hits, 5.1 against the Blue Jays. 5 runs, 1.2 innings against Tampa Bay. 5 runs, 11 hits, 5.2 innings against Kansas City. I mean, it's been an absolutely shit show lately, and the 4 straight starts here for Garrett Richards. That's definitely worrisome. The over, by the way, 4-0-1 in his last 5 starts. I'm definitely looking over the total here in this game. Connor, you talked about it. What's going on here with that over last night with Boston and Oakland? 8.5. It actually dropped to 8, before the game, and it was a little fishy. What's going on here? Eduardo stinks, and he actually pitched well. And then, of course, it was actually a decent start for the Oakland starter as well last night. But, we were worried about that over, and it came to fruition. But I'm coming back to it here. I mean, you've got Richards in terrible, pathetic form right now. And I'm not a big Cole Irvin fan. He was good last time against San Francisco. I'll give him that. 8 strong innings in that game. But before that, he had been rocked by Texas, rocked by the Angels. And against this Boston team, I don't know if he's necessarily going to have success against lefties. They've been pretty solid as of late, 6.3 runs per game last 10 against lefties. So I'd lean Oakland for sure before I take Boston, no question. First 5 full game split, but I think the over's the better look here. What do you think, Conor Mac, Boston, Oakland?
Yeah, yesterday, I don't know. It was sneaky, like sleepy, they're traveling from Boston all the way to Oakland. The bats are just cold early.
That's
the
very
first 3
true.
or 4 innings.
And that
was,
yep.
They got some runs later on, but yeah, that's how it was. It was just like that early on. But here, Irvin pitched great against the Giants. But man, I've seen this guy pitch his last few starts other than that Giants one. He is not very good. I thought this one, to me, the wind's blowing out again, 11 miles an hour. And Richards has just been an over machine. And these A's got good numbers against him. The Red Sox have been hitting a bit lately. Their team totals plus money at over 4.5. But just give me the full game over 9.5, minus 110. I want nothing to do with these pitchers. I think it gets up and over. And I'd lean the A's a little bit at home, right around minus 130.
Yeah. By the way, that's not just a light wind out to right center field at Oakland Coliseum today. It is 12 miles per hour. It is a big wind out there, right center field. That should enhance the hitting conditions for this game. Sharpie, what do you think?
Yesterday's total, I thought it was fishy too, so I live betted at 6.5, and it should have fucking got there in extras. They had 2 on and hit into a double play. Okay, though.
Double
on
plays
to the next.
over killers.
Shout out to the chat though, guys. 150 in the chat on a Saturday. Fuck yeah, good looking. Smash the like. Good looking. I'm gonna tell you a little sneaky little theory I got here. I'm on the A's first 5 minus 125. Yes, Irving sucks, but if you look deep into the numbers, like I did Dunning the other day and pulled out Texas, he's really good first time versus a team. He gets smashed by the Angels, Texas, all these guys in his division that see him. San Francisco hasn't seen him all year. He dominated them. Tampa Bay, the first time he didn't see him, he dominated him. The next time he got rocked. When he sees a team a second time, he gets rocked. First time, though, he's doing really freaking well. And we know what Garrett Richards is going to do. So after looking into the numbers, dude, I'm going to ride Irvin. I'm not a big Irvin guy, but he's shown that he can handle a team the first time he sees it. And that's scary because I'm going up against a team that fucking rakes lefties, like straight up rakes them. And I'm sitting there like, let's go, Irvin.
That's why I'm on the over, because I think they can hit Irvin. I'm hoping, but you're right. That there's something to that it's not just one team. Now, this is a bunch of teams he's faced for the first time, and he's pitched well against them. And then it's that second, that third time.
Lefties too. Yeah. And he held them down. And it's, I don't know, just looking deeper into the numbers had me play on him.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's definitely, that's something to look at here in this one for sure. All right, next up here, we've got the, let's see, as I've lost my spot. Here we go, Dodgers and Nationals. By the way, I might add that Oakland team total over as well, just in case Irvin's good. Just as like an insurance policy, if you will. Taking out some insurance here in case Irvin's good. The Oakland team total over might be something to look at as well. I'll probably add that to the card as well. Dodgers and Nationals. Clayton Kershaw, Paulo Espino, your pitching matchup here. Dodgers minus 255, 9 the total. Well, I'm off the Washington train for a couple of days here. I mean, I took them in the first 2 games. They lose both of them to the Dodgers. Yesterday, again, great start from Scherzer, and then the bullpen's just pathetic for the Nationals, and the Dodgers just will pull away from that game. These terrible relievers for Wash. Austin Voth, freaking Lobstein. He was lobbing all right. He's lobbing cookies all over against that Dodgers lineup last night. That's why he's Lobstein. Schwarber is going for an MRI. Billy, it's a great question. It's obviously something you want to keep an eye on. We're going to see if they might hold him out today. It may not be serious. They've got him in the projected lineup, but be careful with that. He left yesterday's game due to injury, and obviously we know he's one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. So Schwarber's status up in the air. Kershaw on the mound here for the Dodgers. He's actually pitched pretty good as of late. This Dodgers lefty, the veteran, 47 strikeouts, over the last month or so. So he's absolutely been terrific. What a start against the Cubs. 1 run in 8 innings last Sunday against the Cubs. Dominance from Clayton Kershaw. Yeah, I've had my fill of getting my teeth kicked in, taking Washington in this series against the Dodgers. I'm not doing it today. Pass for me on this game. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, I think it's a pass. Espino, if I knew he's going to pitch really, really well, because these Nats have pretty good numbers against Kershaw over the years. Parra, Zimmerman, over 300. Trey Turner's 10 for 22. There's a bunch of guys on here that hit him well over the years, and we know they hit lefties pretty well. But Kershaw laying this big a number on the road, I think it's a little biased. He pitched so well his last start and looked so dominant. Just a tough one. I went off. I'd lean with the home dog, maybe first 5 with Espino. He's been okay, but I know he's probably only going to go 4 innings. Who knows? But I just lean with the home dog here a little bit.
All right, David, anything for you? Dodgers Nationals.
Yeah, going into those stats that Connor was reading, I'm a Dodger season ticket holder. I've been to every Dodger playoff game the last 4 years, guys. There's a lot of those Washington numbers that don't show up in regular season numbers. Soto has 2 home runs that don't show up. Turner has a bomb that don't show. They raked him in the playoffs, guys. It's just is what it is. I'm on the Nats team total over 1.5 first 5 at -110. I'm not trying to get fancy. Kershaw's way too overpriced here, but it's Espino. And Schwarber's gone. That is a little worrisome, but 1.5 is just a 2-run jack, and Kershaw does give up a jack.
Oh, yeah.
Does give up a jack.
He will give up a jack.
Yep.
That's a fact.
He's pretty good at that. Just 1. That's usually what happens. He
maybe 2.
And he'll give up 1
Hopefully
or 2.
it's a 2-run shot, and I'm good.
That's right. Yeah, and then you can and definitely you can look at 2-run shot, be done with it, and then there you go. You got your winner already in the books. All right, St. Louis and Colorado. Wade LeBlanc and Kyle Freeland, battle of lefties here. Colorado, about -110, -115 here. Home favorites in this one. Total 12 across the board here. So we'll see how he goes here in this. But the Rockies, to me, obviously a team that at home has been a completely different team. There's no question about that. Freeland, unfortunately, has not been one of those pitchers who's come along for the ride with Colorado when pitching at Coors Field. 6.59 ERA for him at home this season. He is coming off a better outing against Pittsburgh, which was at home earlier this week. Shut him out, 5 innings, only 3 hits allowed, 7 strikeouts. And before that, against Seattle, 1 run, 5 hits, 6 innings. So look, Freeland's turning the corner a little bit here the last 2 starts. Again, his overall numbers, you're going to say, how can I back this guy? But you look at the last 2 starts, they weren't just good. They were really good from Kyle Freeland. So we'll see if he can keep that going here today against this St. Louis Cardinals team. Wade LeBlanc, I was frustrated in that game. Arizona couldn't do much against him. 1 run, 4 hits, 4.1 innings. They were starting to get him in the 5th inning. 1 home run allowed, but they pulled him pretty quickly. Mike Schilt had a very, very short leash on Wade LeBlanc in that start for the St. Louis Cardinals. So we'll see how it goes here. Cardinals lost the opener on a walk-off 3-run bomb, but bounced back last night in extra innings. They just dominated, scored 6 in the 10th inning, and that was that. They won 9-3 last night over the Rockies. We'll see how it goes here. In the shorter term, the Cardinals are hitting lefties better than Colorado is. That's for sure. But I have no faith, absolutely none, in Wade LeBlanc in this ballpark. A soft tossing lefty at Coors Field? Are you kidding me? There's no way I'm trusting someone like that in this ballpark against obviously a Colorado team that's played well here at home. And you look at his starts against the Rockies in the past here in Colorado, not a lot of good on the track record of Wade LeBlanc. 4 runs, 3 runs, 5 runs, 4 runs, and not pitching deep. 6 runs, given up 4 home runs. He's given up overall 3, 4, 7, 8 home runs over a span of 5 starts. in Coors Field in his career. That's Wade LeBlanc here. So this is tough. Colorado's not hitting lefties all that great right now. Freeland's feeling it, though. And this price here, when you look at it with Colorado, with how good they've been at home, I'd probably still have to look at the Colorado side here. First 5 in full game at even money. That's probably the way I'm going to go here. Conor Mac, what do you think? Cardinals, Rockies?
Yeah, this is a tough one. You're picking LeBlanc and Freeland. I back Freeland, though, maybe a little bit. He's pitched well. At Seattle, he went 6 innings, gave up 1 earned run. And then at home against Pittsburgh, 5 innings, no runs. He pitched well. So I lean the Rockies here. And you talked about LeBlanc. He struggled in Coors Field. I mean, Blackman's 5 for 9 with a homer. Trevor Story's 4 for 6 with a jack off him. It doesn't sit well. I'd lean this way. I'd lean Rockies in this game if I were to take it.
I still get that old Beavis and Butthead type reaction every time I heard Connor say jack off just now. It's like, yeah. That's really good. Yeah. He said jack off.
Let's fucking go, man. She's gonna fucking put out tonight, guys.
That is a classic, that show. Oh man, I watched it all the time when I was like elementary school going into high school. I loved it.
Oh yeah, it was on every fucking day.
Yeah, on MTV. When MTV actually played music a little bit back then. Yeah, 6.62 ERA. When they actually had music in the name. 6.62 ERA overall against the Rockies. And by the way, I looked it up now. 8.54 ERA career-wise for LeBlanc at Coors. 8.54 ERA, so not very good.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sharpie?
I'm on the Rockies first 5, guys, and I'm not a big Freeland guy. You know, I'll tell you, if you hang out in the Discord, I call him the one nut bandit. You know, because the dude's lost the ball to fucking testicular cancer. You know, I feel bad for him, but I got to rag on him when he loses me money. So he is really good, though. Like Ian was saying, he's been really, really good as of late, guys. And St. Louis is bottom of the league versus lefties, 26th and 28th OPS the last 15th and 30 days. I know Ian said the Rockies weren't hitting average well, but OPS, they're 12th and 15th. They're popping the ball. They might not be hitting for average, but LeBlanc isn't destined. They've got great numbers versus him. And at a minus 105 that I got it at, it's now a minus 120. So I beat the number. At a pick 'em, I had to take it.
All right, excellent stuff. Next up, we've got Baltimore, Orioles, LA Angels, Jorge Lopez, Alex Cobb pitching matchup here. We've got the Angels minus 200 home favorites, the total 9.5, shaded to the under in this one. I'm not overthinking it. I'm not overcomplicating it. We got another wind blowing out a little bit at Angel Stadium. Over was one of my best bets on the show yesterday with the Orioles and Angels. I think it's time to come right back to that because Jorge Lopez is just struggling mightily. 5.92 ERA. His last start was absolutely dreadful against the Blue Jays. And on the flip side, Alex Cobb, 5.09 ERA. And Cobb's been good at times for this Angels lineup. I understand that, but the Orioles have seen him a little bit in the past. Remember, he pitched in the AL East for a long time, Alex Cobb. So I think familiarity could breed success here. And look, the Orioles lineup is mashing. We've talked about this really for the last 6-7 games or so. There's one game they got held to 2 runs against the Blue Jays. Other than that, they've scored 6, 4, 9, 13, 5, 7. In 6 of their last 7 games, the Angels lineup is just a mash unit right now. Shohei Ohtani, you can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him right now. This is sick. This is absolutely sick stuff that we're seeing from Shohei right now with these home runs. He's almost an auto bet now, home run prop. You talk about Jack of the Day. I don't even give 2 shits about the numbers for him against Jorge Lopez. You just bet the thing because he's just hitting everything in sight right now and going yard against any pitcher. Doesn't matter whether he's seen them before, whether he hasn't seen them before, whether he has good numbers against them, bad numbers against them. Doesn't matter. He's just hitting the ball out of the yard right now. Shohei Ohtani, phenomenal. I'll be on that home run prop. And yes, I will be on the over once again with the Orioles and Angels tonight. Conor Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is kind of an over as well. Every once in a while, these pitchers, one of these guys can pitch well, and then you get them both together, a Lopez and Cobb, and one of them can throw 6 innings of shutout ball. But I don't give a shit. Cobb should not be minus 200. I'd take the Orioles here. The problem is both teams have horrible bullpens. So it's like take the Orioles first 5 or just go full game. I want, beat up on each other. I think the Orioles getting plus 180 is a little bit of a price here. And I'm with you. I lean over. I mean, Cobb gave up 6 runs his last start, and then he went 5 2/3 no earned run against Detroit. And the start before that, 3 innings, 5 earned runs against the D-backs. So, I mean, I don't trust them, and Lopez I don't trust either. But I just give me the dog here, and I lean over with you. Yeah.
4 straight overs for Alex Cobb in his last 4 starts. And like you said, he's given up 5 runs or more in 3 of his last 4. And same with Jorge Lopez, 5 runs or more allowed in 3 of his last 4 starts. So definitely it feels like a game where we should see some runs. What do you think here, Sharpie, Orioles, Angels?
I'm on the Orioles team total over 3.5 at minus 120. Like Ian said, he read it off. The last 10 days, only one time they haven't scored 4. And we're getting Cobb and one of the worst bullpens in baseball. I lean the over 9.5, but I'm hoping for a low scoring first inning, and I can get an 8.5. 9's a key number in baseball. I mean, you'll hit it more often than not. So if I can get underneath that 9, I'll be stoked.
All right, good stuff. Liking the Orioles team total over. The Orioles bullpen is dreadful. The Angels bullpen, not so much lately. They've definitely improved. No question. I remember it was the other night against the Yankees, and Shohei Ohtani had that start. His mechanics were all fucked up, and he was just totally off his game. That first inning against the Yankees earlier this week.
Whatever his name.
And the bullpen comes in and pretty much locks down the Yankees for the rest of the game. It's what allowed them to make that crazy comeback that night in that game. They were absolutely terrific. Outstanding. And
they're still the 27th worst the last 15 days with that great game. They're bad, dude. I've been live betting them, loving it every time, dude. Just take the over if they start slow.
Yeah, that's definitely, you could do make a lot worse baseball betting decisions than that. There's no question. Texas, Seattle, Jordan Lyles, Marco Gonzalez, Seattle minus 150 home favorites here in that range total. 9 shaded to the under in this one. I will not have a Jordan Lyles ticket. I haven't backed Jordan Lyles at all this season. I'm not going to start now. Seattle, look at, they're starting to heat up again, 44-39. This team's talking like they want to stay in the race, and they think we can hang in there against this Texas team. I lean Seattle here for sure in this game. By the way, here's an interesting stat. Texas has lost 13 straight games in Seattle. How crazy is that? 13 straight games in Seattle for the Rangers that they've lost in Seattle. So I would only look to Seattle here. We'll see how he goes. I think Gonzalez is coming off as not an injury stint, but I think he had a birth of his child, I think, and now he's coming back off the paternity list. So we'll see how he fares here. He's actually pitched better at home than on the road. He's actually had better numbers here in the month of June. And like I said, I'm not a fan of Jordan Lyles whatsoever. Texas on the road, we know how bad they've been away from home all season. What's their road record? 12-29. I'm talking myself into Seattle here now that I said I'd lean Seattle. Now the more I'm talking about this, the more I'm kind of liking Seattle here. So I might get involved here with this Seattle Mariners side. First 5 and full game split. I haven't bet it yet, but I think I've talked myself into Seattle here. What do you think, Conor Mac, Rangers, Mariners?
Yeah, I'm going to stay off this one. I don't want to back Lyles either. And Gonzalez is hit or miss on the mound, and I don't want to back a minus 150. Jack of the day guy, though, Joey Gallo, who's been red hot. He's 6 for 18 with 2 homers off Gonzalez. Yep. A bunch of other people, have hit him well, 7 for 24. Kenner Falefa, Hicks, 3 for 9. Solak, 4 for 9. And some of these Mariners haven't hit Lyles, 4 for 23. Seager, J.P. Crawford, 2 for 11. Long, 0 for 6. Just small sample size, but we'll see. It's a game I want nothing to deal with. I am off.
All right, nothing to do with it. Nothing wrong with that, of course. And it's not just Gallo's numbers against Marco Gonzalez in the past. It's really his home run numbers overall, like the last 7 games or so. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 home runs for Gallo in his last 6 games. How about that? 7 homers in his last 6 games. So he's an automatic Jack of the Day home run prop candidate for me right now. What do you think, Sharpie?
Shout out to Joey Gallo, the only home run ball I've ever gotten at a baseball game. I was smoking a cigarette at Dodger Stadium, and it flew over the fucking bleachers and smacked the fence where I was smoking, and I grabbed the ball. So it still counts. But nice. I'm off this game for the most part. I did bet Texas Seattle 0-0, no run first inning at -105. When I see games where I think that both pitchers are going to get fucking racked, I fade myself, and it fucking pays out at a great percentage. It's crazy how often it'll go 0-0, then they get blown up. It's like they have to go sit down and get in their head, and they can't take 15 minutes on the bench before they just melt down. So that's the only play I got on that game. I lean the under just because these two teams just aren't really hitting that well, but it's two crappy pitchers, two teams that really aren't hitting, and Joey Gallo, who is hitting. I'm just off of it. Hopefully they don't get the Gallo. Hopefully it goes 1-2-3 first inning, and I'll see Gallo next inning.
There you go. Exactly. Go 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's so elementary. That was an old song. San Francisco Giants and the Arizona Diamondbacks. We've got Sammy la 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 long, la 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 long, long, and Jake Faria for the Arizona Diamondbacks. In this one, we've got San Francisco here right around -170. Road favorites here, 9.5 the total in this one. Arizona won the series opener against the Giants. Giants needed a win in the worst way. They kind of in a funk a little bit. 4 straight losses. They snapped out of it big time last night. 11-4 victory over the Diamondbacks. We'll see if they can carry that over into here. Sammy Long pitching for the Giants. He's still trying to find his way. He's definitely not a polished, finished product yet. They do have high hopes for him. They like this kid, but he's still trying to find his footing. 2 runs, 4 hits, 6 innings. First start against Philly. Actually pitched pretty well in that game. Not quite as sharp last time out against Oakland. 4 runs, 4 hits, 5 innings of work. Not very economical either. We'll see how he fares here against Arizona. An Arizona team that, for most of the season, we've looked at them as, hey, that's a team against lefties. You fear for them a little bit. Not so much lately, though. They've kind of tailed off a little bit with their production against southpaws. We'll see if they can rev it up again tonight. On the other side, you've got Jacob Faria, who's been making this start. First start of the season was against St. Louis. 1 run, 3 hits, 4 innings. Didn't pitch deep into that game. I want no part of Arizona in this game. I'll tell you that right now for 2 reasons. One, I don't trust Faria. I think he's a mediocre arm at best right now. And the fact is, look, I don't trust him to pitch more than 4 or 5 innings. And if he's only going to pitch more than 4 or 5 innings, you're going to see a lot of a very bad bullpen. And you know what? I don't think I want much to do with that. So this could be an in-game over spot, to be honest with you. Maybe Faria does pitch okay early, and maybe Long is good early in the game for San Fran. And then you get Faria out of there and you get the bullpen to look at a live over. I do lean slightly to the 9.5, but I don't like that number. I feel I might be able to I could see it maybe being a slower start, and I might look to a live over, get a better number once we see more of that Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen, which is just unsightly right now, how bad it's been for them. Conor Mac, what do you think here? San Francisco, Arizona.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do in these Diamondback games. I'm going to wait, like you said. I think that it goes over 9.5, but why not wait? Long could pitch well. I mean, Faria, I watched that game against the Cardinals. He got through 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. I mean, I don't think that's about what he goes today. I don't know. He could get rocked, though. But I'm going to wait for an in-game. Yeah, if there's some zeros. I stayed off the Giants after losing a couple with them, and they win. They win yesterday. It goes over. At least I took the in-game over. But, yeah, it's just a pass for me.
Yeah, it's still pretty good numbers. Last 10 starts or so for this Giants team. The last 10 games for this Giants team against righties, still pretty solid numbers. What do you think here, Sharpie? Giants and Diamondbacks?
I lean the Arizona first 5 team total over 1.5. It's -150 though, so it's hella juiced. Long has given up 2 runs or more every fucking game, guys. Like, this guy isn't that good. I know he's their number 1 prospect. I know he was the stud in the minors. I rode him the first game. I lost on the second game. I faded him the third game. So I'm learning. They got to him 3 games ago. I know Arizona isn't hitting that well. They can put up 2 runs. I mean, and Faria, like you said, he's been decent. 3-4 innings. Can I get 1-2 runs?
Yeah.
I think so. So I took Arizona +0.5 at first 5 +100.
Yeah, D-backs good against lefties. Yeah, they're better lefties than righties. So
Not too good,
Sure.
though. They're still like 28th, 29th. That's like
Yeah,
a
you want
scary-
Marte than with like a full lineup healthy.
Yeah, if we
had
had their lineup, I'd be way bigger
Yeah.
betting it.
All right. By the way, we got to reverse course here a little bit. There was one game we missed, and it didn't show. It's not actually displayed
Phillies?
on my rotation of games. It's Phillies,
The
yeah,
Padres?
Phillies and Padres.
The rain, is
Yeah,
it
so
going
we
to
gotta-
play?
That's the question.
Is it gonna go
Yeah, it
off?
looks like it's going to be. It is. It's going to be partly cloudy. It looks like weather will not be a factor today, so it's going to be good enough for baseball in Philly today. Darvish and Eflin, the pitching matchup here in this one. We've got the Padres -155 road favorites, 8.5 the total in this one. Boy, that Phillies bullpen, and I almost made a critical error, splitting it up first five and full game. I mean, the first five cash, but I had a full game piece of the Phillies, and man, Alvarado blows it, but they rescue themselves in the extra innings with the victory. Brad Miller walks it off for the Phillies last night, preserving the sweep for me with that first five full game split on the Phillies last night. And now Darvish on the mound for the Padres, 2.44 ERA this season, 4 career starts against the Phillies. How about a 1.42 ERA dominance for you, Darvish, against the Phillies here? We have Zach Eflin on the mound for the Phillies, and normally this is a guy I like backing at home, 2.13 ERA in his home starts this year. You look at the last start he made, it was on the road, but against the Mets, it was very good. 1 run, 5 hits, 6 innings. You look at his home starts, 2 runs against Miami, 2 runs against the Mets, 1 run against Atlanta. I mean, very, very solid. Win-loss record 4-2 in 6 home starts for Eflin. But Padres 13-3 this season with Darvish on the mound, including 4-1 on the road. So you've got a guy I like to back at home in Eflin, a guy that I don't really like to go against, Darvish, right now with that record and the track record of really shutting down this Phillies team. So I'm off this game from a side perspective with just a lean to the first 5 under here for the Padres and the Phillies. Connor, what do you think here? San Diego and Philly.
Yeah, I didn't love too much about this. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I thought my mic went out. Eflin, he's a better at home, but he's 2-6. I don't trust him. He pitched a lot better his last start against the Mets. Just a tricky game. I mean, it's plus money here with the Mets, but these Phillies have not hit Darvish at all. He's owned him, like he talked about. Some of these numbers are pretty bad. These Phillies have. Maybe a bounce back day for the Padres. They haven't been that good on the road as they are at home, but maybe Darvish. You could take Padres first 5, half a run, bring this down. It's just not my favorite spot here, but that's just a lean.
All right, David, anything here? It's Padres, Phillies.
Yeah, I mean, I know most people probably don't bet juice, but I bet that -160 last night, first 5. I didn't take no half run. I figured that was like my legitimate best bet. I said, there's no way he fucking loses. This pushes at worst. If I take that half run, there's a chance that Eflin fucking gives up 1 or 2 and Darvish gives up 1 or 2, and I end up losing. That happens a lot with me. When I got an ace pitcher and the better bats, I just got to trust him and not screw around with a half run and just know that he's going to win 70% of the time for me. So
yeah, exactly.
Padres first 5 with the juice. I'm not afraid of the juice.
All right, Padres first 5. Sometimes the juice is worth the squeeze. That's the old line, the movie line. There you go. That is the Saturday card. We've gotten through it all. We missed the 7th inning stretch today, but in terms of timing it, but we'll do it now. We'll say hello to everybody in the chat. Hit the like button. Come on, I got to start saying it more too. Hit that like
Smash
button.
it.
It helps us out. Smash that like button. Uncool22, Cheshire Cat, DC, Nathan Schellhamer, Sterling Gentry, North Ender, Jake Kaiser, Andre, Anthony Imbrogno, Talk Sports with JT, Raymond Reddington, Not Applicable, Jimmy Gomez, Billy, Brian Watson, Turnsey in the chat, North Ender. North Ender, it's LeBlanc. I mean, this is, I know in Canadian, French Canadian, it's LeBlanc, but he's not French Canadian. He's American. So he's LeBlanc.
American.
That's the way they say it. That's the American English way of saying it.
LeBlanc.
It's LeBlanc.
You don't get the Blanc.
Oui,
Yeah,
Laurent.
no Blanc.
No
No
Blanc
LeBlanc.
for you.
That's how you'd say it if it was French. Yeah, LeBlanc. LeBlanc. But no,
That's how they
LeBlanc is
pronounce
way
it on
different.
on baseball shows. LeBlanc.
Yeah,
they
that's how
always
they
call
did.
him that.
Yeah.
They do, huh? Wow.
It's a good history lesson, though. I
Yeah,
didn't
like
know that.
Baseball Tonight, they always said his name.
It's always,
LeBlanc.
yeah, because he was a Padre, so they always
Yeah.
called him LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it actually
Learn
should be
something every
LeBlanc.
day.
French. He's not French. He's not French Canadian.
I'm gonna start
but
calling him
nevertheless.
that. You're not fucking Canadian, eh?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
LeBlanc.
Yeah, exactly. No, Billy Pilgrim, Whack Prescott, everybody. Thanks for joining. Talk Sports with JT. 1-0 Denmark. I do like to see that because I did bet Denmark there. William Torres, just no penalty kicks, please. I mean, enough of those. I'm sick of those. Luke Murphy, welcome
PKs.
in. Everybody. Yeah, PKs. Yeah. Magellan Sports, big show. Obviously working today at the but Billy's filling in nicely, doing a great job. In fact, Billy's doing such a great job. He's the one that reminded me I skipped the Padres Phillies game, so appreciate that. All right, great stuff, guys. Outstanding. Thanks for joining us. 200 views as well at one point during the show. We appreciate it. We will get to best bets. We will get to Jack of the Day in just a second. But first, messages from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101, when you're in town in San Antonio, check them out. Stop in for a bite to eat, some pints, live music, DJs, karaoke as well. Southtown 101 in San Antonio. Manscaped, promo code PubSports. You can get 20% off your purchase with Manscaped using that promo code PubSports. And keep in mind, Lawnmower 4.0, new and improved. Hot off the presses, and you can get 20% off that purchase or any product from Manscaped by using the promo code PubSports and mybookie.ag promo code PubSports. Look, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball still ongoing on a daily basis, but we got football right around the corner. Look, we're going to be basically a month away from that first Hall of Fame game, that first NFL preseason game, and then college football season starting that last Saturday in August. So it's going to be here. Football's right around the corner. Get ready. Sign up at mybookie.ag. No better time to do that than right now. Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit as well. Mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. I hope I didn't scare anybody with my face that close up there on that shot. All right, best bet and Jack of the Day coming up. But first, as always, we'll start with the Jack of the Day.
Well, see you later.
Jack of the Day time. There's a lot of candidates today. You could go with a few of those Blue Jays that are red hot right now. Springer, Vlad Guerrero, Simeon's been crushing the ball lately. I wouldn't argue with that. Joey Gallo, we mentioned him. Texas Rangers, I think that's a good Jack of the Day candidate as well right now for this Saturday slate. Maybe you look at CJ Cron. Mama, don't take my CJ Cron away. There you go. 2 home runs against Wade LeBlanc in the past. So that's a good home run prop to consider here in this one. That's about it. I mean, Schwarber may or may not. Obviously, Ohtani, of course. It goes without saying. Shohei Ohtani. It's a must bet against Jorge Lopez in Baltimore. So those are the ones I'm looking at. Conor Mac, any home run prop candidates? Jack of the Day.
Yeah, I think you got to stick with Joey Gallo. 6 for 18, 2 home runs. Jonathan Scope. I think he's 6 for 16 with 2 home runs. Tiger for Big Show. Ramirez for the Indians. He's 5 for 23, but he's got 3 homers. He's hit a couple jacks lately. I think he's a good one. And Chris Bryant, 5 for 15 with 2 home runs off melee. And I look at those Rockies, though. Just kind of maybe throw a few bucks. Story and Blackman have had success off what's his face? So, jacket.
Yeah.
LeBlanc.
LeBlanc, yeah,
LeBlanc,
exactly.
LeBlanc.
It's like Alizé, bro. Nope.
My guy Alizé.
Yep, he's Alizé.
Alizé. You know, you've lost the right to be called Alzolay by your actual last name. Now you're
People
Alizé
keep
right now.
correcting me, and I'm like, I've changed his name already, bro. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, Wade LeBlanc might be shooting blanks in the Coors tonight because that's been his track record.
We
for
want
sure.
that, though. We
Sharpie,
want that.
a home run props, and I'll also let you talk best bet as well. What do you got?
All right. My home run prop, you took it straight out of my mouth. Crone. He hits two home runs and 2 hits he had off the guy. But then I'll go to Soto. Soto's murdered me versus Kershaw too many times live, bro. I've seen it live, and I've seen people throw their jerseys on the field because he blows Game 5 in a NLDS game, and they bring out Kershaw.
I remember.
I was there, third base, 5 rows up, bro. I wanted to grab the jerseys off the field. I was like, you fucking fucks. But I'm going to go with Soto. Soto sees Kershaw well. He hits lefties well. Don't look at his 0 for 4 because that has nothing to do with the playoffs. Best bet of the day. I didn't like any K props until I got to the last game and I seen like Lyles and I was like, am I going to play this fucking bum? And guess what? Gibson hit his for me last night. Bubakar hit his last night. It's not about bums. And Gibson's not a bum anymore. Lyles is going up against a team that's striking out 30% of the time, guys, the last 30 days. That's an absurd amount. And at 4.5 at -110, that's too nice of a bet for me right there. He went up against this team 7 weeks ago and he had 8 strikeouts. I mean, 8's nice, bro, but I mean, I just want 5. I see 1 per inning. I could see him going 5 innings in this game, giving up 2, 3. He gives up 3 runs. He's still in the game, guys. They're not pulling him. He's got to go 5 to get to the bullpen. So Jordan Lyles over 4.5 is my best bet.
All right, Jordan Lyles over 4.5 strikeouts. Best bet for Sharpie. But you're right, Seattle has been. They've been swing. They've been a free swinging team lately. I have noticed that. So there's definitely some hope for that one. Conor Mac, what do you think for best bet?
My best bet sucks so bad lately. Even when I'm killing it on a day, my best bet has been horrible. I don't know what to tell you. But I got to keep going with the process here. I got to take A's. Bo Sox over. I think the wind blowing out, it goes over. That was my first look. So give me that over.
There we go. Over 9.5 Boston, Oakland. My best bet is going to be, I'm coming back to it again. It worked last night. We're going to come right back with Orioles, Angels. Over 9.5 here at even money plus 100. I think we get there again. Jorge Lopez, 5 runs or more, 3 of his last 4, and the exact same thing for Alex Cobb for the LA Angels. So Orioles, Angels for me, over 9.5 plus 100, even money. That'll be my best bet for this Saturday MLB card. That'll wrap up this edition of the MLB Closing Time Show. Thanks to our Saturday guest, David Sharpe. Sharpie joining us, as always, on Saturdays. And Conor Mac, of course, each and every day with me. We will be back in just a little over a half an hour, just a little break. And we'll be back at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific for the NBA Pub Hub. It's Game 6, Eastern Conference Finals, Milwaukee Bucks, Atlanta Hawks. Do or die for the Hawks. Will we have a shimmy caw coming out tonight? Do I have it in me to take Atlanta tonight? I'm not telling you now. You got to watch to find out in half an hour from now. NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports.
Little tease
Radio.
there.
Little tease. You got to. You got to keep them wanting more. Exactly right. For David Sharpe and Conor Mac, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Saturday. We'll see you in a half an hour for the NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio.
Peace.